about Jack Grealish, Charlie?
Grealish, I saw a story earlier in the year where he went in and he put £2,000 behind the bar in a working men's club. I don't know if he put it in 50p's on the pool table. You know, I don't know if there was a big queue for the pool table, but £2,000, and he had the afternoon. They just won. He had the afternoon in the working men's club, a few pints, and at first I thought, oh, what's a player doing that for? But then I thought, maybe he needs that touch of normality. Maybe that's what grounds him, you know, that bit of normality. What is the pressure like? You were a young player at Arsenal, Paul. What's it like when you have success early in your career and it comes to you, you don't know where to look, or you don't know, I mean, you must...
I was slightly different because I didn't win very much when I was playing, so... But not, as in Jack Grealish, I love him to bits as a footballer and as a person.
Yeah.
And you know, the stories coming out. When the story first came out, it didn't say that Jack had the day off and did the day off the next day as well.
Well, that's not the headline, is it?
Yeah, that's not the headline at all. And it wasn't until a couple of days after the headline was that Jack had paid for everybody's drinks and he'd left some money behind the bar. He's just a normal guy, Jack.
Yeah.
You know, he was a fantastic footballer. He's an easy target. And going back to when we were playing, there was no camera phones. There was no social media, but it's probably just as well. That one.
It's that bloke with the radio again.
Exactly. It is. So he's had an up and down season. The treble season, the City fans will tell you, he was by far our best player consistently. After they came back from the World Cup, that period from January through to the end of the season, the Champions League final, it was unbelievable. The last season he was in and out. This season, which doesn't get spoke about as well, it's just he's not in the team. He's had quite a few injuries as well. Yeah. So he has been in and out. He's not had the chance to get consistency. And when he has been out, Savinho and Jeremy Doku have been fantastic in recent times. So I've no doubt Jack will get back to his very best. And people say him and Pep like that all the time. They love each other. But Jack's just got to get his levels back to where it was before.
Yeah, we hope he does.
Huge Jack Grealish
I
fan.
love to wind up the Man City fans. I love winding up Man City fans. Anyone who's successful is nice to tease, you know. But the one thing you can always stick with Man City fans is that they were there when they went down to League One, you know, nearly League Two, if it wasn't for you. You know,
I was there as well, unfortunately.
But they turned up. They never disappeared. They were there, big crowds, big passion. The fans are so passionate. It's a proper fan base, isn't it?
It is, and look, it's the one... I'm pretty laid back. I think if people watch me play, they wouldn't have said that, but I'm pretty chill. But it's the one thing that does get my back up a little bit. And you know, I remember that it seemed the worse we got as a team, that the City fans got some weird kick out of supporting us even more. You know, and I remember that Division 2 season when every home game they were getting 27, 28, 29, 30,000 fans, and every away game we weren't just taking over the stadiums we were going to; they were taking over the towns and. It was like some weird kick that they got out of.
I think it becomes a cause rather than a football team. It becomes a cause, and what people want is to follow a cause a lot of the time.
It does, and they backed us through thick and thin. I remember we got relegated at Stoke to go down to the old League 2, which is Division 2, which is League 1 now. All that summer, and then especially the pre-season, we played Blackpool at home the first game of the season. And within the change room, the boys were thinking, how many are we going to get? And if they do turn up, this is the worst position in the club's history. What sort of reception are they going to give us? And we're actually quite worried. We thought we could get battered today, even before the ball's been kicked. Obviously I've got a great memory of that season, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on, but that's up there with it for me. And I remember walking out the tunnel at Main Road. It was a red hot day, as it always is, the first game of the season, and there was 30,000 fans there, and the lads were just like, wow, these guys are actually amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought you were going to say about the song the City fans sing, like, where were you when we were shit? Yeah. And
They were here.
I was playing.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have, from sort of your City days, I mean, highs and lows, what for you was a real moment that you look back on that still sticks out for you, for being a positive or a negative?
Yeah, God, there's loads. Making my debut at Stoke. I remember I travelled up from Arsenal on the Thursday. Met Alan Ball and Franny Lee, God bless them both.
Yeah.
On the Friday.
What players love around the dressing room?
Yeah, they were great. So I signed on the Friday night. I'd even trained with the team, done my medical. We played Stoke away on the Saturday. Come on, we're losing 2-0 at half time. Come on at half time, done all right. Ended up losing 2-1. Then I woke up on the Sunday morning and it was old teletext days in the hotel. And it said Alan Ball's been sacked. I was like, oh, fucking cheers, thanks for that. And just, I was like, all the meetings on the Thursday and Friday was Fanny Lee was saying, yeah, Alan's got 2.5 years left of his contract. He's here for this amount of time. And then from that point in the August through to the January, I had 5 different managers.
Wow.
Really?
So the club was in these guys will tell you, the club was in turmoil at the time.
Who were those? Was that the Steve Coppell era?
So it's Alan Ball, and then it's Asa Hartford, then Steve Coppell for 30 odd days.
Yeah, short, wasn't it?
And then Phil Neal.
Really?
And then Frank Clark came in January. So I was going to think I was the common denominator in it. I can't manage that dick off me out here. Sort of thing. But it was crazy. But every manager was allowed to bring in their own players, but not necessarily get rid of them. So when Joe Royal came in the season after, Joe had 57 pros. There was 3 separate changing rooms. Honestly, the whole place was carnage.
Sounds like Chelsea now.
Yeah.
About 6 different dressing rooms.
I know, but you think Premier League squads have got 25 now.
Yeah.
57 first-team players.
How does that work day in, day out?
It was, we couldn't train at the same time for a start because the old Platt Lane couldn't have us all in there at once. There was 3 different change rooms. The ones Joe wanted to keep, the ones he wanted to get rid of, the ones he wanted to keep but had to get rid of because of the finances. And it was just...
Can you imagine that going into the room going, well, I know this is the room that they want to get rid of everybody. And they're going, off you go.
Absolutely.
You're thinking...
You know,
the X Factor. Through to the next dressing room.
Players that are there on good contracts. But,
You're coming to London.
Yeah, they were on good contracts but didn't want to leave, so they were like, happy sitting here. Players who wanted to play, but Joe wanted to get them out for whatever reason. And I genuinely don't think Joe Royal, the gaffer we still call him, gets the credit for how he managed that situation. And then has gone on to get promoted and then back-to-back promotions in the Premier League. Yeah, how he handled all of that was unbelievable, really. But
Mike, you're a Stockport lad. You didn't fancy Stockport County?
No.
Go on, why Man City?
Well, I wasn't influenced by like my dad, like some people are. They get forced to support a team. It was more or less my next door neighbour. He kind of influenced me, and he used to knock about of his son. So I was kind of on the verge, and then 8, not the year. I was 8, not 2008 like the rival fans like to think that's when we all became fans. I was 8 and it was September 1989 and it was the 5-1 derby that I witnessed. I wasn't there, but that happened and I was...
you were sold.
I was a confirmed fan, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
On a side note, you did BGT. 2020
I did,
the year was, I believe. Thank you very much.
2020, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, did it. It was.
How was it? Like, what was the experience like? Simon Cowell said it was like Oasis songs ran out of music and Liam had stayed to tell jokes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not a bad compliment.
Take that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they're back together because it makes me more relevant. Been holding on to this haircut for quite some time.
And if there's something you've all got in common, you're all Manchester City fans.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You and the
When you
Gallagher.
see each other in the wild, the haircut people, do you sort of wave at each other? Is there a sign?
Like,
Is there a
like
nod?
bus drivers?
Yeah, like bus drivers.
Well, a little...
yeah.
But yeah, BGT was all right. But I did it in front of an audience. But then it went out during the lockdowns. And then the live shows were no audience, which I didn't partake in because I don't think it would have gone very well, would it?
Well, our comedian with no audience.
Exactly, yeah. So
Welcome to my... Oh, no.